Ralph Romeo with you. My good friend Heshy on board. 212-219-9695. Heshy, how are you?
Hello, Ralph. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me come back here.
Anytime,
and have another show.
anytime.
Thank you. And I will take you up on that. You know, a couple of more weeks to the election. What a couple of your listeners didn't understand that what's going on over here is I am running for the city council seat in the 44th district in Brooklyn. And it's a councilman seat that there are 51 councilmen that control the city's laws and rules and regulations. And I don't believe that what's going on, but there's an open seat right now with two opponents of mine that I will discuss in a moment. And I believe that I'm the most qualified candidate for the seat. But before I begin the show, Ralph, I'd like two things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I always open the show with a quote, which I will in a moment. But I'd like to express my sincere sorrow for what happened the other day in Nevada, what happened with the shooting. I've always been against guns. I know people make fun of my policy that no gun should be allowed in the United States. I know the NRA and the what do you talk? You know, the constitutional Second Amendment. I believe guns are wrong. I believe guns are dangerous. I believe guns do not belong in the home. Hey, I know that people need them. I'm against it. I always was it. My father-in-law was a court officer for 31 years.
Mm-hmm.
He carried a gun. And I asked him, when you come to my house, please don't bring it. Don't bring it. Lock it up in your home. Do it in your car. I am scared of guns. I know something goes wrong. And again, I feel bad what happened. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to help the people that...
We don't want to reduce this to a gun issue per se.
I know.
I understand what you're saying. And all you could do is speak from your heart. This is what you truly feel.
I understand mental health issues, which I'm going to bring up as well. But again, people got hurt. People's lives were lost. People were scared. And it bothers me. And all I can do is express my sorrow.
That's it.
And I hope that I'll be a better day. And I hope you people will understand this. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living somebody else's life. Don't be trapped by living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown your own inner voice out. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. And that's why I'm running for city council. I'm not scared of what my other people will say, what my friends will say, what what other people from other communities say. I want to hear what my constituents say. I want to believe that I know I'm doing the right thing. And I want you guys to do the right thing. You know, I plan on what's my whole policy. I have a bunch of issues that I want to discuss. But I'm on a crusade. I want to make a social contract with the people of my community. And I've said this before. And what is it? I want to crusade for the rights of the minorities, for the welfare of the economically disabled. I want to defend the helpless. I want to try to, to keep my people from the safety of crime, economic hardship, to pursue the individual dream of enjoying personal happiness in this life. And most of all, once everything is somewhat on pace, to then we will obey the law. Some of these laws are ridiculous, and I'm upset about it. Recently, there's a new law that just came out by the Department of Buildings that now makes every single person that goes to work on a construction site fill out a special 10-hour course. A new thing. You can't even work there. That means if you're sweeping the floors, you need to have this card or you'll get a $10,000 penalty on the job. That means a kid who's coming out of school that wants to work for the summer better take this course. Forget the course costs money. Forget then you have to go through some kind of internal background check, which if you had a criminal driving ticket or anything, you'll be disapproved, so you won't be able to get the job. If there's some idiot behind the counter at this Department of Buildings decides, or this Internal Affairs Division, then you're paying $225 for that. And once you get that, you have to pay for the license.
That's right.
And then you have to renew the license, something new. I understand if you want to be an expediter, you want to be a process server, you want to be a lawyer, you need these licenses. But just to be able to sweep floors or work on a construction site, they're making you crazy new laws. And what's bothering me is my councilman that has left office didn't even argue this. Forget all these other laws that have come into effect. He doesn't even care what's going on, that they're fining and they're torturing and they're sanitizing us to the world. Friday is the Sabbath for the Jewish people of
Yes.
Borough Park. So to pull out garbage, you're right, we shouldn't pull it out before 3 or 4 o'clock. But the truth of the matter is, some of us observe the Sabbath earlier. Or some of us don't have the time. We're running around, or we have 6 or 8 kids. So we pull it out 2:30, 3 o'clock. They're running around already, and I watch them. I see them parked,
Hmm.
ready to give us tickets. It's just unacceptable. And then all the sanitation people come 4 in the morning. You can't even see them when they pass by your house. I watch this. I something stand out when I hear the noise. I get up early in the morning, and they won't take your garbage if it's too heavy, if it's too light, if it's not bagged correctly in their particular way.
Hmm.
And then the sanitation guy comes by a couple of hours later and gives you a ticket for either still
Oh,
having it
boy.
out or having it messy. This is just,
Whenever you're trying to trap the citizen, it's always bad.
it's very, and that's what they've been doing to us. And I want to make the laws. Now everybody's saying, well, Heshy, your councilman can't do anything about it. You know what? There's a councilman in another district next to mine by the name of
Hmm.
Mr. Deutsch. He's now on this committee of Department of Buildings. And a lot of his clients are either trying to change the zoning laws or into the construction, or homeowners are trying to fix up their homes, trying to get some more licenses. He's on this committee who now instigated this new law,
Hmm.
without our permission. I didn't know about it. I got an email text today that the law is changing. Didn't go up for vote. Who gave him permission to do this? Did he speak to his constituents? Because we would have never allowed it. Again, a guy just pops in there with no rules because he wants to be friends with the other councilman. I, Heshy Tischler, will not allow it. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to pursue the happiness of your future. I want it to be a better life. Now, I was listening to, and I don't want, and I want you guys to know, I spoke to my opponent, uh, um, Kalman Yeager, before Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is a Jewish holiday where we ask for repentance, we ask for forgiveness from God for all the bad things we've done. And again, Kalman took the initiative and gave me a call and says, Heshy, how you doing? Heshy, I'm proud of you not running a negative campaign, and I'm going to try not to run a negative campaign. And I said to him, I apologize to you, Kalman. I know what they said about you. I know 100% that you didn't lie. I know 100% that you were endorsed properly. I believe it. I know it in my heart. And I'm sorry that somebody's insulting you and giving you derogatory thing. And the funny part is that the newspaper article that found this comment or made this
Hmm.
derogatory comment, 20 minutes after it went up on my opponent's website, right away it got it hit on another website.
Mm.
That means one of our other opponents is doing this. I know one of the younger opponents is a nice man, young man, 36 years old. He doesn't really have much of experience. And Yoini, if you really need a job to be trained properly, come. I want you to be my chief of staff. Join my team.
And for 1 minute, where can you see this on YouTube? I've gotten about 5 texts asking.
On
Right now.
right now, it's on YouTube. I forgot what it is. Avram, what is it? Just Enough Heshy
On
Show.
YouTube, Just Enough Heshy Show, Heshy.
Or you can go on Facebook and click on the link, or you can go on and you'll see the link on the Just Enough Heshy website. Type in Just Enough Heshy and it'll pop up, and you'll be able to click my link. And
Sorry to interrupt.
Right
go
on
ahead.
to this live picture. So I want this negativity in our campaigns to stop. I'm asking my opponents, and I'm asking the people out there. We are here to discuss the issues. We're here to help people do better things. Yes, I'm now going to rant and rave about one of the old councilmen, David Greenfeld's policies. He came up with something foolish that I didn't like about the parks. He said on last week's show, when I was in the street trying to fight PETA, or whatever they want to PETA, they came fighting that we shouldn't kill chickens in our neighborhood. And they were screaming and demonstrating, and the police allowed them to do this. Stand on the streets, block traffic, no permits allowed. God forbid I should do any kind of a protest without traffic. And if I go to jail, they say if you have more than 3 people on the street, protesting, screaming, hollering, it's disorderly conduct. Over here, they let them come and embarrass us, and the police just let them get away with it. And I was there screaming and hollering, but there's not much we can do, and they were going from place to place. And where was my councilman? Nowhere to be found, screaming on the radio about what? That we should open up more parks, that we should spend millions and millions of dollars of building more parks. Now, I have no problem that you want to build a $3 or $5 million park. I mean, I wish I would get the contract because I would make a lot of money, and I'd like to retire down to Florida when I'm 75 or 67 years old. Dove, did you get the hint? You're 67, retire. That's one of my guys' fathers. But my point, very simple, is that when we have open places, and there's a reason why a homeowner or a builder or a landowner can't build, is because he's having issues. You want to take away his land and build a park? I have recently, Ralph, I had an apartment for rent, two apartments for rent, a small apartment, 4-bedroom apartments. They go for about $3,000, $3,200, $2,700. I know because I wanted to rent for my children apartments, and they were very expensive, plus heat, plus electric in my neighborhood. And I had families. I didn't even put it on in a newspaper. I put it on the web, on Facebook. I didn't put it on Craigslist. I put it on WhatsApp. I promise you, I got 100 calls for this apartment. Families of 6, 8 families, 8 kids were coming to me. One guy said he had 10, but 2 of them are not away. I said, even if you have 6 or 8 kids, where are you going to sleep? 4 bedrooms is still not enough. Oh, I'm living in a 1-bedroom. I'm living in a 2-bedroom. My landlord is throwing me out because it's too crowded and too damaged. I can't live there. They're living in crowded, cramped, squalid places. Forget that they can't. Forget the money that they can't afford. They have no space. There's no place. And you want to build a park? No. We should be changing the zoning regulations. You know, Landmark. I was watching a television show the other day that Landmark is going all over town that we should landmark the whole city of New York. What does that mean? Some of these old buildings have to come down. You want to have a pretty church or a pretty Empire State Building, but they're going to landmark half the buildings in Crown Heights. These people have changed the buildings.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? You're landmarking that you can't let me fix the outside. I can't do the extension. I have to go before my community board to ask permission. When I ask permission, you still give me 8 months of heartache to build my own house, and I'm sitting on the street. This is ridiculous laws that our city council is allowing these people with too much power to get away with, as well as changing the rules without my permission, allowing these inspectors to come into my house and just give me violation after violation. You know, I had recently before Yom Kippur, one of my clients got arrested, was getting arrested. He called me, hey, she help me. I said, why? I'm evicting this tenant, and she called the police and made a story on me that I hit her 2 weeks ago in the courthouse, and the police didn't even want to investigate. They just arrested him. They just told me he has to come in and turn himself in. Of course, I'm helping him with a lawyer. I'm helping him with his defense. I'm going to help him go through the system. Where's his city councilman? What? Let's build a park. Maybe that will help him. No, we need places for our people to live. We need to change the zoning regulations. We need to be able to watch our judges, not to constantly go against whoever they feel like. Administrative judges don't even know half of the experience. They should be in the street. They should be the ones standing and watching the stories and going from house to house like me. I don't know what to teach them, but they're not doing their jobs correctly. Following the letter of a law of a bunch of people like my other councilman sitting in his office. He doesn't even know what it is to work in a job site. Did you ever get your hands dirty? Did you ever walk through a construction site, Mr. Deutsch? What are you changing the laws that we need to sweep the floors? I need a 10-hour course, $200 fee, $500 fee. Don't you make enough money? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you call my show. Ask me any question you want.
All right.
212-219-9695. And one more thing.
Sure.
I want a derogatory stop. Me and my opponents are not going to do it. We're not going to talk bad about each other. At least I'm making that promise. I'm not going to try to talk bad about anybody else. If I don't like your policy, I'm going to state it. And David, just for your knowledge, Mr. Greenfeld, I do not read from a script. I talk from my heart. I talk from my soul. I know the issues. And October 18th, when that debate comes by, you be sure ready that I'll be ready to answer any single question that those people want. Of course, if they're going to be derogatory to any of my opponents or to me or ask a stupid question that will hurt us or embarrass us, not that I ever get embarrassed, I will not. I might even walk out. So be very careful, Jewish press, how you play this game. And I'd like to talk to one of my opponent's fathers, Dov Hikind. Mr. Hikind, you're the assemblyman over here. You're not part of this race. I know you want to support your son. You know, you changed already our driving regulations on Ocean Parkway to lower us from 30 to 25 miles an hour. I believe it's your fault. Now, the whole objective of Ocean Parkway was set up that if you drive 30 miles an hour, you can make 10 or 15 blocks. The way you've set it up, I've got to stop block by block. Tonight, I went to pick up my son on Avenue L to drive down that one block. I swear to you again, it took me 15 minutes. And there was a cop sitting on the corner waiting for me to make an illegal. I was nervous. You never know what's going on. The other day in Borough Park, I did see one of those little traffic cops come out and move traffic along. That's what their job is. Not to ticket us, not to torture us. Ladies and gentlemen, call in if there are any calls on hold. Ralph, you take them.
All right, Rabbi, you're on the air, Rabbi. What's your question?
Okay, I just wanted to comment. I want to know Heshy for years, and I wanted to know that he used to work. He used to come into Mafia when the Mendelbaum opened Mafia. He was the first one to volunteer for the high holidays, the Shoshone and Kippur. He was a great man, and he's still a great man. And whenever, even by Sandy,
Right, for the most part, you're a great guy. You're still a great guy. You always were a great guy. You have a lot of noise back there, Rabbi. Get in the better line there. Can you get a little bit on a better line? Get that noise out of the background there.
sick people, he's a good, hearted man.
He's a very honest man. That's why he's on my show, of course.
Rabbi,
And he's very good. He's a good friend of mine. And I'm telling you, he's going to be a good guy. Whatever he promised, he's going to deliver.
Rabbi Steinberg, you are a good man. I appreciate that you used to let me in to set the tables and serve the food.
I know.
I was so happy. I used to beg for you to let me in. You said, Heshy, I don't know. I said, just let me serve the food and set the tables with my sons. And you used to let me in. You used to let me bring people there. I said, can I bring? You said, bring anybody. You're a holy man. You allowed me to donate the few dollars I had in my pocket, which wasn't much. Every once in a while, I was able to give a little bit more. But you're a good man. And I thank you for, not me, for my children, teaching them what it was to serve the community. And you were so nice by showing them how to serve another human being. I owe you. I owe you.
And you came to the Shoshana to help us at night after the davening to set up the table. And then the morning I saw your mama that you doing well at daily work.
I love you. I love you, Rabbi. It was you that I was following. You taught me, and I thank you. I thank you for helping me be a better man.
And I wish I get to bed sure, and it should be the fleet with everything. Whatever you do, so you have a blocker. There should be no chain by everybody.
I will win this election. I'll be your next councilman, and I'll try to teach and show your way which was the right way. By the way, Ralph, Masbia is it's not a soup kitchen as David Greenfeld said. He tried to explain it. It's a nice restaurant. That's for free. We try to feed the people who, even if you have money, anybody's entitled to come.
Sure.
You can come. I can come, Ralph. Anybody's allowed to eat there. It's made for people who are challenged, who don't have money, who don't have the families, who are not around. Just come in. You get a nice little meal, soup, a piece of meat, some drink, and something to nourish you that day. And I love that place so much. You know, there's a lot of politics now that it's many years later that goes on in places like this, like any organization.
Say that name again.
Masbia, Masbiah.
And where is that?
They are located in Flatbush. They have I think they have one in Queens. They are really a good organization. They donate food, they collect food, and I believe that but it's only one. We need more operations like this. We need other places like this. We need more places like Tumcha Shabbos that delivers food before the holiday or before the Sabbath. A place like Shevis Achim, Rabbi Fish, who goes out and collects money piece by piece. Every week he's by my office. He's struggling, and I'm giving him my few little pennies that I can. But not only me, he goes person by person, packages 100 packages, delivers it and not garbage packages. You're talking nice meals, meals that I would like, that I'm jealous that I don't have enough of.
Sure.
These are the kind of people, these are the kind of leaders that we should look up to. The other week, my car broke down, and I called Chaverim. Didn't say a word to me. They came, they recharged my car.
Oh, beautiful.
They didn't comment that I was a dumbbell. I left my lights on all
Anybody
day.
can do it.
No,
Anybody
but
can do
I should be smarter than that, you know?
We all should.
But the point is, the guy was cute about it. He said, you're okay, thank you. And he thanked me for servicing me. These are the kind of people I want. Ladies and gentlemen, call into my show, 212-219-9695. You're welcome to do anything, ask any question you want. But again, I would like to talk about a bunch of issues that I've brought up in the past. And everybody says I talk about too many issues in one shot. I've got so many issues, so many problems in my little community. Just imagine what the city has. And one of my main issues that everybody, and this is I'm the one who came up with this idea many years ago, again now, is the parking situation. It's ridiculous. Again, I just couldn't drive around 13th Avenue the other day. I couldn't drive around 14th Avenue. It's complicated with trucks double parking. You're right. Trucks have to make their deliveries. So I propose to take the sanitation lot on 19th Avenue over there, or 20th Avenue, create 3,000 to 4,000 parking spots. Everybody should come there and park there like a municipal parking. There'll be buses running through called a park and ride up and down Borough Park, Flatbush, to our community to take you to your places every 15 or 20 minutes, you'll have another place like the airport taking you back and forth to your cars. You're right, it'll be a ride. But either way, when you're trying to navigate through the traffic of Borough Park, something's traveling 3 or 4 or 5 blocks or driving down Avenue J on the middle of a day, it take you 45 minutes or a half an hour. So these are the things that I want to do. I want to create. I want to take the buses off of the streets. At nighttime, the yellow buses should not be parking on the street. There's so many of them taking up hundreds of spots. Let's create a parking spot for them in my parking lot. All the buses at night, if you're a licensed school bus, you will have a space in our neighborhood if you're part of our community to park in a particular area that's assigned to you. Next morning, your bus driver gets up early and moves the bus from there. Same thing with commercial vehicles. I know they're allowed to park in the street and they get tickets, but we've got to figure out a way to keep them off the street. That the parking spots are made for the residents of the neighborhood, and this is what we need to do. My idea of parking is to create parking, not parks, not a place where I do want my children to play in the park, and I do want places. But right now, we need to change the zoning regulations, the housing regulations. We need to be able to create more housing for our children. We need families that are growing to 6 and 8 people, not to squeeze into one bedroom or basement apartments. If you have a phone call, you tell me, Ralph.
Richie in Queens. Richie, what's on your mind?
Yeah. Is Uncle Heshy going to come back on the radio? He's going to have his own radio show.
Well, for the time being, we're doing the best we can right here. Do you have a question? Do you have a question right now?
One thing, the girl that was on his old show that was down the dial, does he talk with her anymore?
Yes, Richie, thank you for your call. Esty is still a very good friend of mine. She's helping me with the campaign. And she lives around the corner from me, and she's a wonderful young lady. And she also does a lot of good for people. She helps a lot of people out. And you can always catch her on Facebook, Esty Picado, I guess on Facebook somewhere. You can find her, and she's very entertaining and still answers everybody's questions and comments. So I love her. Esty, just a shout out to you. Thank you for all your help in my campaign.
All right, and Uncle Hesh, we really miss your show. How's Larry?
Everybody is fine, Richie. Thank you, thank you. Right now, we're just running for city councilman, and I'm going to need the support of my community, my friends, and my neighborhood. And by the way, there will be a website and a GoFundMe account. Right now, I wasn't able to do it because all my paperwork wasn't ready, and I wanted to make sure everything was up and up. Now that all my paperwork today finally came in, we'll be opening up a webpage and a GoFundMe account. I'm going to be running a grassroots campaign. I'm not looking to spend money right now. We spent very little money getting my posters and pictures and WhatsApp. And thanks to the help in I have a little WhatsApp group that let me join. Thank you. It's called CD 44 for city council. And also you have the Tischler. I'm sorry, I'm going to exactly tell you what it says. I have to bring it up because I'm a little bit old. CD 44 news and issues. You can join the WhatsApp group and see all the comments that people make about all the candidates. And also you have one that's called the Tischler for City Council WhatsApp group. And you just have to text me. And my number is 718-288-7844, 718-288-7844. And I'll send you the link on WhatsApp how to join the groups. Again, everybody call in 212-219-9695. Now that I've spoke about the parking issue and the housing issue, which I'm still very serious about, it's not right. You know, somebody in one of my groups said, well, let all the young people move out of the neighborhood. Let them move somewhere else. Are you joking with me? I want my family around me. I want my children near me. We want our family. That's the beauty of family, of raising a family, especially when I moved to Borough Park. I moved here for a reason because it's a great community. It's a safe community. We're trying to fight crime. You're right, the police are sometimes too busy ticketing, so we have crime and shootings and robberies, which I think that's what the police should be dedicated for. More for the crime issues, watching the streets at night, making sure crime doesn't happen. Preventive maintenance, I tell a lot of my clients, is most important. Fix something before you think it's going to break. Make sure that it's in good shape. Same way with the police. Preventive maintenance. Look around. Watch for crime. If you see somebody suspicious, Hey, pull him over, say hello, how you doing? You don't have to arrest him, you don't have to tap him down. We have a great organization, Ralph, called the Shoyman. These are a bunch of volunteer boys, wonderful boys. They put their lives on the line as well. They watch, they patrol at night, they patrol during the day. You have guys like Mutty Katz and Rabbi Daskal, just guys who keep their men in line to watch for robberies, little robberies, credit card frauds, making sure that crime is some, and they work with the police. They're safe. They don't walk around with guns. They know how to hold somebody down without hurting them. These are guys that are good men. This is the thing what the police should be doing. And then training more volunteers in the street. But we don't have that. We have to create our own organizations. So, and I wanted to forget the housing issue that I'm upset that we have families that have nowhere to live and we're telling them to move out. We have places. We don't have to find the open land. There are people that want to sell their houses that have enough FAR, which means enough place to build bigger buildings and create bigger structures that we can make nice structures and make places where more families can live, bigger families, more luxuries with low income, with lower, not low income, but at least a better value for your rent, and try to keep rents not so high, but not so low. But again, keep it in a fair way that we can control it without throwing our young people and sending them into Jersey, Lakewood, Tom's River. It's just ridiculous. That some of these young folks, I have a bunch of young people now that moved to Jackson in Jersey and stuff where they can get cheap rents. They have to travel an hour and a half each day by bus to come into work over here. As it is in New York City, you have to travel 35, 40 minutes up from your house to your job on a train. But this is ridiculous. We need to change the zoning regulations. We need to be able to create more housing for our young people, for our growing families. Now I'm going to I'm going to jump to another issue.
Sure.
And my issue is education. I want after school programs where the kids can come volunteer if they want to learn. There's an organization called Yafed or Yafed. They are trying to force their kind of teaching on our yeshivas and schools. You know, I have no problem how they want to run their curriculum. But our schools and yeshivas have a curriculum. They know they have to have the Hebrew studies, just like any Catholic or Muslim school or any religious school. And then, of course, we have our English and our mathematics and our sciences and how we teach it. Don't force us into certain programs like sex education and stuff like that. They're forcing religious schools to teach what they want, or lesbian and gay programs. I have no problem with the LGBT people. I myself am not, but, you know, I can't control what another person does. But you're not going to make me force me to teach my children something that I don't want to teach, especially in a private religious synagogue or school or Catholic church. You know, the public schools might be forced into certain curriculums, which again, I believe that the principal and its teachers who have proper meetings should teach their children when they're educationally, these teachers are properly trained, our rabbis are properly trained. We're going to teach them a curriculum that will put them out there on the street for jobs, teach them what the world is coming. Forcing me into certain idealistic teachings, I'm not interested. That's why I'm sending them to a religious school. That's why I'm paying all this tuition money or trying to raise the money or get the money. I don't like this. I don't like the Yafed program forcing us into it. And anybody that supports them, well, I believe they have a good idea maybe, but they're on the wrong path. And also, we need our children on the streets. Again, I'm going to stress this issue. Again, I walked, this was a holy Yom Kippur, which was on the Sabbath. And my job on Sabbath is, after I finish with synagogue, but usually this holiday, you have to stay in the synagogue the whole day. I usually stay in the synagogue, and you're not going to believe this, Ralph. I don't talk on Yom Kippur. I don't say a word out of my. It's not possible. I know you guys don't believe this. That my mouth is actually.
If you can do it, anybody can do it.
It's 25 hours straight that my mouth does not open. People are in shock.
Is that the tradition?
No. It's something that I picked up because I know that I have. I sometimes say things that shouldn't be said.
I see.
And on the whole high holy day, I try to keep my.
I want to ruffle feathers on the high holy day.
And I've told it to my friends. A lot of my friends have followed along with me, and my children have now kept this tradition. It's not something that you have to do, but I try to keep myself controlled.
That's nice.
And again, if it's the Sabbath, I had to leave the synagogue a little early. I had to make my round to the hospital just to see a few people. I had to walk to Flatbush because there's a young man that needed my help, which I go every week to, and I skipped a couple weeks during the summer, and I still made my rounds on Yom Kippur. So I was busy in a sense that the fast wasn't so bad on me as of yet.
Good.
I'm still at it, but again, you have to keep with your policies. God doesn't shut down the world because it's a weekend or a football game.
Mhm.
Life goes on. Even if you're on vacation, you still have to do your prayers. Whether you're Muslim or Christian or Jewish, you're still going to pray. You're 3 times a day, you're 5 times a day. Your God doesn't go away. And you better look up at nighttime to heaven and say, God, I did a good day today. I tried my best. Yes, I messed up a little bit. Hey, today I made a couple mistakes. I got angry with somebody when I shouldn't have. I called it quickly and apologized. And this is what I want you to do. Fight yourself. I have inner demons all day long. I really do. And some people have drug problems, some people have other terrible issues that they have to deal with. I have my issues of smoking and drinking and other where my eyes wander sometimes. And I try to fight. Yes, Ralph, I'm sorry. I am a human being. I try at 53 years old. I try
I had
to.
the same illness.
Okay, but I try to fight my illness. I try to
course.
fight it on
I
a
get it.
daily basis. We have lots
It's
of
actually
issues.
natural.
Right. And I sometimes don't understand when a young man tells me about the hole in his heart when he's doing drugs and I'm sitting there talking to him.
Mm.
And I don't understand it. And I tell him to fight it. And even though I'm just talking, something's out of my head, I understand it a little bit. We have to counsel our young children.
Mhm.
We have to volunteer. All of us have to take an hour, a week, a day. Everybody, if we do little by little, we can do so much as a community. So these are my things. I believe that we should open up more youth centers. I believe that we should take the rabbis and the teachers that are required to teach in our synagogues and schools, that it's a requirement of them they must volunteer to continue their licenses at the end of the year. All rabbis should get licenses. I believe that rabbis that are collecting charity should answer for it. Again, I told you I'm angry with a rabbi that collected money for me. I usually don't care. And he used it for his own personal wedding for his kid. I am disappointed. I gave the money for a particular charity or particular person. I want it to be answered for. And I want those people that have the title rabbi to have some kind of a license that say rabbi. It's not complicated. And I want you to do some volunteer work to do it. There's so many things that we can do to help our children. The next generation is so important. Forget that we need jobs. If we're not going to teach our children spreadsheets and computers, these are minor little issues. Mathematics, how to spell, how to use a computer, how to use a telephone properly.
Basics.
Basics. They're not going to get a job by not getting a job. And these are little things to get jobs. It's not too complicated.
Give us a ring, 212-219-9695. Check us out on Just Enough Heshy on YouTube, and you can catch this live on Facebook. It's important for me to chime in with every once in a while because people want to see what you look like. They identify a little bit more. You can get us here with your question, 212-219-9695, 212-219-9695.
Ralph, you made a comment on what I look like. First of all, I'm a handsome guy. I think I'm better looking than my two younger opponents. I mean, they're good looking boys, like I tell everybody, but I'm still much better looking. Of course, you'll see me at the debate on October the 18th. But again, my two opponents are young men, and I'm proud of them for one reason. And I'm not going to say their issues are right or wrong, which I'm going to get to some of their issues as well. They want to serve their community. They got into this race. They knew they were going to be spoken derogatory about. They knew that there'll be negative comments about them. I hope they knew they were ready. I see that they seem to be handling it pretty well. I'm not happy that they're knocking my new friend Carmen Yeager, who's my opponent. I don't like it. I'm disappointed that if the three candidates get up and want to knock it again, I said on the Zev Brenner show the other week, go ahead. And even though I don't want it to be done, but again, somebody else from the outside or a father or a brother, no, you have no right. You have no right. I want you to respect my opponents. They are grown men. They are men that are trying to serve their community. They are men, after I win my election, I'm going to be offering them jobs to join my team. And I want you to know, these are men that I'm proud of that stood up and are willing to compete, are willing to run for office. You have a call for me?
Elma, go ahead, Elma.
Yeah, no, it's Elna.
It's okay. Say it again. I'm sorry.
ELNA from Sri Lanka. I'm a Sri Lankan native, but
Elna, what's your question?
Okay, my question is when and where is the debate? Because I want to attend the debate on October 18th.
The debate,
I think he did.
yes.
Oh, yes, October 18th.
Well, Elna, the first debate will be on October the 18th at the
Okay.
Borough Park Y in Brooklyn. I think it's around 7 o'clock. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
I'm writing it down. 7 p.m.
Right, look at,
approximately.
right. The Jewish press most probably will advertise it in the week.
Okay, 1 minute. Jewish press. I'll try to pick it up. The Jewish press.
Right, the Jewish press will
Okay,
be
Heshy,
sponsoring this.
everything that you've said reflects my ideas.
Thank you, Elna. And I want to reflect the ideas of the citizens of the community. I am part of the community. I've lived in this community for 40 years. I've suffered in this community. I've struggled. I've paid my tuition. I've paid my fines. I've paid my taxes. I've had times where like I told you, it was hard the next week to make my food, to make my tuition. Again, my friend Naftali used to tell me, Heshy, how'd you do it? I said, by the skin of my teeth, and sometimes not even by that way.
Steve, go ahead. You're on the air. Steve.
Looks like we lost him.
We lost Steve. Steve, give us a call back. Who's you're on the air? What's happening, caller?
Yeah, hi. Good evening, Heshy. Good evening, Ralph. I'm just wondering, a lot of these items that you're bringing up, Heshy, regarding the schools and what they're going to teach, is that something on the local level? I mean, what concerns us about the quality of life? That's what I would say most voters are concerned about, the quality of life.
And that's going
constantly building without providing parking. I mean, at some point, who do you talk to when they throw your garbage cans? When they make a mess every Saturday morning with the garbage, cleaning up the streets. That's what we need to vote for. I don't care what they do in the schools.
All right, Steve, hold on 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Let him answer. Go ahead.
Well, you are, first of all, let's start with the first issue. When you are building new buildings and new houses, there's a parking requirement that you must give us a bit of space. If you're going to be building a new house with a new CFO, if you're building a 2-family house, you got to give me 2 spots or maybe 1 spot. You're building a 30-unit building, you got to give me at least 15 spots. We don't care how you build it underground. And there are ways to build underground parking. Look on East 19th Street. Look all over the place. There are ways to do underground parking, elevator parking. There's a way to take away a piece of the building and make a roadway, which I've done many times in Williamsburg, and created 30, 40 spots in the back of the building. So yes, there is a way with new construction. That's a requirement. And there is a requirement to build it. And we'll find a way that each new construction site must participate and give us parking spots. On the issue of garbage cans, it's happened to me many times. And don't think that my wife doesn't pick up that phone the next day and dials 311 and makes a complaint. Pick up your phone, make a 311 call, or call your councilman, because these are local sanitation guys. If you give enough comments, your sanitation, like me too, I have it too. I have to run out there in the morning and sweep up when he throws the cans or he turns over the garbage and there's garbage all over the place, or he ripped open a bag by mistake. Yes, I agree. And we should make complaints about our sanitation men, because what are they doing? They're holding up traffic and they're going slow, and we should make different hours for our sanitation. I've seen them come 4 or 5 in the morning. Why can't we have them come different hours? Why must we mix the buses and the sanitation all at the same time? We should have the same way you're able to change the parking speed limits to certain areas and certain blocks. Let's change different areas. That you come this hour in the morning where it's more congested with the buses, and areas that don't have congestion, bigger areas or like shopping areas like I forgot, under Brighton Beach or under the trains or New Utrecht, where there's not that much congestion in the morning. They can do the sanitation different hours, just like the private sanitation people. They come in the middle of the night. They come at different hours. I'm not asking sanitation to work at night, but to have the cleaning of the street sweepers, plus the sanitation trucks, plus the buses, plus the private people going, it's just not possible. Now, I wanted to mention one thing. You don't care about the schools, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. On the sweeping of the sidewalks, one of my opponents came up with an idea, spent tens of millions of dollars to clean under our car. There's a new mechanism in Europe or something that takes the sweeper and puts the mechanism under your car and cleans the street. I don't mean to make fun of him, and I don't want to make derogatory, but it's, first of all, it's not possible. And we have so much other issues where we can spend our money properly. You're now going to take street sweepers, change it, spend millions of dollars over the next 10 years on a project that won't work. And why? You know, when you're driving in Borough Park and somebody taps your car, or when you're parking, Ralph, you ever drive your car and you bump into somebody? Not even
Sure.
bump, just touch it. You have,
Just barely.
it's not even possible not to do it in a lifetime.
Right.
The guy jumps out of the car and wants to kill you.
Yeah.
Give me $400 for the little nick in my car. You're telling me that a sweeper in the city that's sweeping underneath your car won't bang the bottom, or when your car doesn't breaks tomorrow, or your muffler fell off, or there's an oil leak, you're not going to blame the city. The first thing is you're going to do the city. You're going to sue the city. Are you kidding me? To go underneath my car that maybe it'll work, maybe you won't bump. Come on, with the human errors, with the mechanisms running, that idea is moot and is not possible to even to be considered.
Hey, 212-219-9695. 212-219-9695.
Now, a lot of people don't care about the schools because, hey, I don't have children anymore. I'm older. I'm not interested in the teachings. I am, because by teaching our children correctly, grows them to be proper citizens, makes them to not to be animals running the streets and doing drugs and hanging out there at night, not committing crimes. We have crimes committed by so many young children from minorities, even the Jewish kids hanging out on the street doing drugs because they're not taught properly. They're not trained properly in school. They're not given the proper love. Sometimes they're forced into classes with too many kids, which I believe now we're trying to control. This Yichud program run by Rabbi Mendel, a wonderful guy, tries to help kids with special needs, kids that are beautiful children. They just need a little bit more attention. We should have all of our schools. Why don't we have guidance counselors in our schools? By teaching the children young to be proper men and women, to be proper grown-up adults, to properly control, because they're going to be our future presidents, our future councilmen, our future assemblymen. These are the men and women that we have to trust our future to our older age to. If we're not going to teach them now how to do it correctly, then when they get older, it's going to be too late. We need husbands that are not abusive. We need wives that go out and help their families grow. Come on. You think it's easy to be a mother? Do you think it's easy to raise children, to cleaning a house? Even a husband. I helped my wife many, many times, cleaning the house, bending over. My back hurts, my leg hurts. There's no such thing. You busted your leg and you're not going to keep cleaning the house. You're not going to help your sick child that has 103 fever. We have to teach them so when they become fathers and mothers. When my two boys just got married, I know they're going to be fathers and mothers. I hope I taught them the right direction, how to set the table, how to lead their children right, how to love them, and how when they get a little bit of wild, to treat them correctly. And I want to tell you a little joke, young man who was on the phone before. If you have another call, I'll take it. But I want to tell you a little joke. When I opened up my office in Borough Park, I had a different office, and I moved to my Borough Park office. My principal, my old principal from elementary school, came into my office, and I said to him, I said, Principal, what are you doing in my office? I said, it's shocking to see you here. He says, why? You spent enough time in my office. So that was a stupid little joke. Anyways, call my show, 212-219-9695. We're running out a little bit of time. I'm willing to take your questions.
And by the way, this is normally my show here, but on Mondays, we're going to continue this, I think, till the election. And
Right.
you can hear Heshy each and every Monday until the election, 7 o'clock here on my program, 7 to 8 o'clock. And this is just like a little, just enough Heshy show over here on WPAT Radio, 212-219-9695. If your reception isn't the greatest, you can go to WPAT930am.com on your computer, your phone, WPAT930am.com.
Anyways, my friends and neighbors, the show is winding down and we're running out of time. So
You got a lot of time, 15 minutes.
Beautiful. And I want to talk to my citizens and my community leaders. Recently, and I want to apologize personally to my district leader, David Schwartz. I was angry at the other district leader, Sharon Fuchs. You are leaving us, Sharon Fuchs. I'm going to make it my life's business to make sure that you will never be district leader again in this community. I'm going to also maybe fight your boss, though, because I'm going to put up a candidate to run against him. I'm not happy with the work he's done over 32 years. 32 years. I know a lot of people have said on my WhatsApp group he's a great guy, and he's a good man. Nobody's knocking him. I like him. I happen to like Dov as a nice person. Dov, I want to take you out to dinner one night. We should have a good time. Matter of fact, come over to my son's house on Sukkot. His wife is a wonderful cook. The new wife, Tehila, wow, this girl can blow me away. I'm talking, Ralph, I want to invite you to,
all right.
I don't know
when's Sukkot?
Sukkot is starting Wednesday night. This girl, I don't know where she came from, this 20-something-year-old girl, she's going to make my son fat. This girl knows how to cook, man. She brought me over for dinner. I was scared. You know how these new young girls, when they
There's
cook
your fantastic son right here, chronicling all this.
That's right. My son Avram Shlomi, that I delivered myself, that Ralph didn't let me finish the story the other week because people were commenting I gave up on my religion.
Sorry.
I'm going to finish that story
Yeah,
soon.
please do.
His wife is a beautiful cook. And you're all invited to. I said, Dog, please come over. Bring your whole family. Bring Yoini. I'm telling you, she's a good cook and it's all kosher. But the other district leader, David Schwartz, is a young man. I've spoken to him. Wonderful, intelligent, smart. And one of my friends today told me, Heshy, you insulted him. You're throwing him out. I made a mistake. I don't know why I said it, David. Sometimes I jump off the gun. I speak too much. I care. I love. One of my workers says, Heshy, you're too passionate. You're going to get a heart attack. You're running around. I said, no, sweetheart. I'm a man made of steel. I'm a man made of love. I need to tell you the truth. I don't lie. I make mistakes. Trust me, I go home to my wife and I say, wife, I made a mistake. Go ahead, scream and holler. Hit me. What should I do? I'm wrong. I don't know what to do. I do mistakes and I change my ideas. If I am wrong, and sometimes I don't believe I'm wrong, but if I am wrong, I will change my ideas. When I'm city councilman, I will listen. I'm not going to do town hall meetings. You're going to come to my office and sit down and explain to me your issues. I'm going to have an open email address that every single email is
That's a great
answered.
thing.
I have email in my office. I myself get about 150 emails a day. My partners, the workers, the office managers, my son who works for me, we get hundreds of emails and we answer them all within a time limit. You're right. Not everything could be answered the same day. We get a little bit busy. Sometimes we forget. So you send a second email. I sometimes send out the same email to the person 2-3 times because I know they might have missed it or forgot or pushed the delete button or gone to the spam thing. So I'm going to have an open email address. I'm going to have a Twitter place. I'm going to have open phone lines. I'm going to have open office hours. Forget that you're able to come all the time, especially with an appointment. But I'm going to have open office hours where you can come sit down, explain to me where I'm wrong, teach me, show me. I'm 53 years old. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot. I've been part of the community. I've been part of anything that could go wrong on this planet. Trust me, has happened to me. Anything bad that has happened has hapned. I was on the Zev Brenner show on last week, and Zev asked me some tough questions. He asked me about my opponents. I told him that I liked them. I did have issues with some of their ideas, and I don't like that people are talking bad about them, and I feel bad that they're hurt. Because these are men that are running for office. We should only be talking about the issues. Please stop commenting on them. Stop talking negative about them. Talk about the issues. Stop laughing at them. And if somebody wants to be a district leader in my community, I want you to live in the district. You want to be a councilman? I want you to live in the district. If you want to be an assemblyman, I want you to live in the district. This is not a game that we're playing. I want you to know what the people are like. Don't tell me afterwards I'm moving into the district. I lived in Manhattan. I'm not knocking my opponent, Johnny Hyken. I know that he lives in Manhattan or he lives at home with his father. I'm not knocking anything. What I'm knocking is I want you to put your hands on there. I'm not interested. One of my opponents, Johnny, he's a nice boy. He says, well, Heshy, I grew up, not me, and say Heshy was talking to the audience, and I heard him talking to me. And he says, well, I met all these big politicians growing up in life, and I understand politics. These politicians don't interest me. They don't excite me. What people excite me is my community leaders. My heroes are the fathers and mothers who raise their children every day and fight to struggle to pay the rent, to put food on the table, to put their children through school. My heroes are my children that have grown up, that have learned to do community service, that tutor, that take care of their autistic children. Companies like Women's League, everybody's, oh, they make money, they're rich. It doesn't make a difference. The service that they provide. Oh, hell, a Women's League. These are places that struggle, that take in young men and women and teach them to help the helpless, to help these special needs people to become regular people. My sister has Down syndrome. I've been taking care of her 40 years. Wow, you should see my sister. My sister won't even get in the car with me, Romeo.
Really?
She's a Hasidic girl. I sit in the back seat. I don't need
you. Drive like a maniac?
No. She does scream at me. I drive like a maniac. She does scream at me.
Why won't she get in the car?
Because she's a religious woman and she can't get into her, even though she's allowed to get in the car with me. So she sits in the back seat. Plus, she has more money than me, she says. So she takes the car service. She's a lady. you know. So
Mhm.
Esther takes care of herself, and the training and these programs that have helped her, the schools, a job that she gets even for the hour or two a day. Why don't we take in these special? Give somebody a job for an hour or two. Make them do something. Let's help. We have so many businesses on 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th Avenue, 18th Avenue, and we should pay them a decent wage, better than the $6 or $7 an hour that we're conning them. And they don't need the money, but make them feel great.
Yeah, sure.
And my sister, when she comes home with a paycheck, even though she has more money than me, feels wonderful with that job for an hour or two a day. I love the place where she goes and the schools that she goes to. Cost money. Not everybody has the kind of money. We need to take care of our neighbors. We need to understand what it is, special needs of our neighbors. We need to love our neighbor. You know, I said the other week that I had two neighbors fighting over 18 inches. 18 inches? Are you joking? I'm laughing at myself. 18 inches.
What do you mean?
They were fighting over a driveway space. Who owns
Oh,
the 18
driveway.
inches? How
Mhm.
can I walk in? You know, my door, my office is open that anybody can come in. My house
Sure.
door downstairs, my wife gets angry, is open. People should be able to be welcomed, to be treated with respect. Don't fight over stupidity. There's so many ways that we can work things out. Nobody's asking to own it. We're asking to use it to make our life, to make neighbors' lives better. That's why we clean our streets. That's why we go to doctors. That's why we have these programs. People called me up when they were renting my apartment. Do you take Section 8? Sure, I do. Sure, I'll take any program. Sure, I want to take you. And don't worry about where you come from. I know that if you're qualified and you're trying to take care of your family, I couldn't take in the family of 10 because there was no space. I told them,
Mhm.
I said, it's just foolish for you to come here because you're going to be more squashy. You should take a look at better.
Mhm.
I happen to have given away, by the way, my apartment for very cheap. For 1/3 less than the market price. And
Mhm.
you know why? Because I wanted a young couple. A young couple came in with a child, with another child on the way. I gave it away. They said, are you crazy? You're giving it away so cheap? I want to service my community. I told my wife, we don't need to make $1 billion. You need to make enough money to survive, enough money to make a little bit of a profit. Sure, don't be foolish. You have to do preventive maintenance and so on. You're going to have to raise the rent as time goes on. But take in somebody that will need the use of the apartment. My wife says, oh, you're going to want 6, 8 children in the house? Yes, I love children. I want children around me. I love my nephews and nieces, even though they break things and I get angry with them. I, I love you, children, even though I want to choke you once in a while. But your Uncle Heshy would never raise a hand to anybody. And I want you to know that I want you to believe in my heart that I can do this job. Now, people say, Heshy, you need this job? No, I don't need the job. I want this job.
That's it.
I want this job so badly that you guys can't believe it. I want that whatever I do now, I believe I can do 100 times more. I can help many, many more people on a daily basis. Somebody was commenting to me, Tashi, that you think you take a lot of calls when you're a city councilman? You're going to be flooded with problems and phone calls and personal issues. Yes, that's what I do. I am great at what I do. I am an expert at what I do. You're talking, I'm in the field. I take care of people, and you're talking, I'm all across the board. I have experience over the last 30 years of actually going to hospital, of actually visiting my friends, of going to visit people who are sick, of going to visit homes that have lost family members. And I sit there and I cry with them, or I stand there and I go to funerals. People say, oh, you're going for no reason. I go because to visit my friend, to comfort him, whether it's for a minute or 10 minutes. I get invited to a wedding, Ralph,
Yep.
maybe once every other day of our
Mhm.
mitzvah. I'm talking my
Mhm.
wife, and we have invitations in the hundreds that come to our house.
Sure.
I try to make it my point to try to go to the wedding, or if there's 2 or 3 weddings in a night, to go to all of them and to show my face. Not that they need me there or they need my gift. They will be happier when I'm there. And I like to make other people happier or try to improve their 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 their, their pursuit of happiness. And maybe with me coming, they'll be a little happier. Maybe not. Maybe they'll be sad. Hey, Heshy's here to eat the second portion. We got to watch him, you know? But this is who I am. I want the people out there to understand that I'm a man that doesn't want to be negative, but I do slip. I am a human being. I make mistakes.
Here's the one thing that people. This man listens to my programs. He's listening right now. I think he lives in the neighborhood. But how bad is the drug problem for the young kids in your neighborhood, particularly?
So people have many years ago, I told this story that I tried to go to court for a young man that had a drug problem, was selling drugs, and the judge asked me the question, Mr. Tischler, is there a drug problem in your neighborhood? And I tried to downplay it because I didn't want him to get in a lot of trouble. And I thought about it. And the truth of the matter is, yes, Judge, we do have a big drug problem. Since I'm a little boy, when I was standing on 50th Street near the Y and 14th Avenue by Bear Shmuel, they used to come around and sell us pills. They used to sell it. There's a big marijuana problem. Oh, everybody says marijuana is not a problem. To me, marijuana is a problem. I'm sorry. To me, it's an issue. It's a drug that uncontrolled,
I agree.
unwatched, unsupervised, you could get hurt. Oh, you can't overdose. You can't die. Please, you drive stoned. You're telling me you're not going to make an issue and die? I don't care what the fatality rate numbers are. One, dying on drugs is bad. Overdosing on pills. We have a cocaine issue. I promise you we have a big crack issue in Borough Park. I've seen it myself. I've seen it. I've seen kids at nighttime. I was at a wedding. I went to 2 weddings one night. And I dropped off my wife at one wedding and I took my sons to another wedding. There was a young boy that's been in my house for many years. And I lost touch with him for about a year and a half. And I didn't know what happened. I saw him standing outside the wedding. Maybe he was about 15 and a half, 16. He was drinking alcohol and smoking a joint. And I went over to him and I grabbed him away. He says, "You can't touch me." I said, "Listen to me, little pisher. You've been coming to my house. I'll smack you around if I have to. God forbid, I wouldn't do that." And my son was standing there and he said, "I'm going to go tell my father on you." I said, "You can tell whatever you want. You're not standing on my street smoking a drug and drinking alcohol at 16 years old." And we have these issues, and it's just not one. These are kids that are coming from good families. Just imagine the low income, the kids that have no supervision, kids that come from big families or schools that are not neglected, but overlooked. You know, the bullying issue we had. Somebody asked me a question last week on the bullying issue. I don't really know the answer. I tried to answer it, but our schools should be more involved. Having kids walking around with weapons, whether you're in a public school or yeshiva, and stabbing a bully or hitting back a bully, we have to watch it. The gossip, in my office, we have something called CNN. Everybody says, "Oh, CNN television." No. It's called our camp network news because we're like a little camp. Gossip spreads between us and 1, 2, 3. You're telling me that in a school or yeshiva, a rabbi doesn't know all the gossip? Sometimes my children tell me, "Oh, Ty, you don't know everything we've done, or you don't know what's going on." I know everything. I listen to everything.
Got one more. We have Isaac asks about, and he listens to my show. He's now listening to you on Monday. Isaac says, you mentioned briefly about suicide or depression, suicide. Is that a big problem, and how will you face that with the youngsters?
Yes. I can tell you of a few issues that were in the news last year of 2 young girls for 2 sisters that jumped off a building. And people say, "Oh, because the family didn't accept them, they were religious, they were thrown out of the house." Yes, there are many issues that arose to make this package happen. But we have a lot of people with depressions. We have young children committing suicide. Young children, just recently, a beautiful young girl overdosed on drugs, and her parents tried her best. We have young people hurting themselves. I sometimes sit in the youth center, and one of the young men tells me, "Oh, I can't go on. It's rather to kill myself." And I'm sitting to him and saying, "Why would you say such a thing to me? Life is gorgeous." Listen to my quote that I just said to you earlier in the day. Life is too short to take for granted. Don't care what anybody else says. Go on. When I was a little boy and I was running around, my mother said, "Take one step at a time. One step in front of the other." Ladies and gentlemen, one step in front of the other. A lot of people commented on, "What do I care about the Second Amendment? What do I care about guns?" I don't want people to die. I don't want people to overdose. I'm against guns in my neighborhood. I'm against people getting weapons unless it's super needed for check cashing guys and stuff like that. I know I'm going to have to get off the air.
Now we're winding down. Now, any final thought, quickly?
My final thought is on November the 7th, ladies and gentlemen. Heshy, Harold Tischler will be on that ballot.
We're going to see you next Monday here?
You're going to be next Monday is a holiday, but I think we're going to be back. I'm going to find it. We're going to have a chat on it. And I want you, don't forget, November 7th to come out. I want to win this election. You want me out there. Thank you, everybody, for listening to
I'll see you Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
Yo, you better come, you. Don't look so sad. I know it's over.
This is AM 930, WPAT Patterson.